Let's talk Donovan Clingan's fit with the Portland Trailblazers. Clingan goes off the board seventh. Everybody's very excited about that as a landing spot for him. It had been rumored for a while. He also was a guy who could have gone first overall in the draft, and I don't think anyone would be shocked. So, from a value perspective, I think people are pretty happy on behalf of Portland here. My question would just be, I mean, you had a pretty good center who was taken first overall a couple years ago in DeAndre Ayton. Does this mean that they're completely out on DeAndre Ayton going forward, or I guess what is the fit you think for Donovan Clingan here in Portland?
So, okay, I'm gonna need you to shut me down if I'm just talking absolutely crazy here. But instead of looking at this like, okay, this is two guys that maybe you don't want playing together or something like that, or don't fit together, doesn't this give you some flexibility if Klingon is actually good? Because there's a word like shit. Me and you are Detroit Pistons fans. I would trade for DeAndre Ayton. I would give up a lot for DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton's still a young, productive, really good center. And you're a younger team in the Blazers who you have like the Simons in the fold, Shaden Sharps, you got Scoot Henderson in the fold as well, and Klingon. You kind of just go young and work out the growing pains there, and then you also have some veteran pieces around them that can play the roles. But like, I don't necessarily know if I like the fit with having both of them on the team at the same time, but I think it gives you flexibility to move on from Aiton maybe if Klingon is who you really want at that spot.
Yeah, I can see that. How long are they waiting to make that move though? Like, are they going to enter the season with one of these two on the roster, and it would obviously be Klingan, it would be Ayton they trade, or are they going to go into the season with Ayton and Klingan together?
I personally think they should move on from Aiton, but like the only reason I say that is because one, you draft Klingon seven. I think that at worst, Klingon's floor is a rim protector in the NBA, which is that's really all you need. I'm not saying he's gonna be that, but like that's his floor, is he's gonna be an elite rim protector. They make the move. They trade for Denny Avija from Washington, who's like 6'9" wing ish. Could play, he actually improved last season. I think he averaged what? Let's see here: 15 points, 7 rebounds, 50 from the field, 38% from three. He showed some things last year. Now, granted, it was with Washington. I would go like complete youth movement with this team, and I don't know if that leads to wins, but I think you start trying to build on something. Like you put Denny at the four and put Clayton at the five, and then do whatever combination you want of like, I don't know, Scoot, Simons, Sharp, or any. I mean, they got some other older players they can put in there. That's the way I would go.
Okay. It can work. Out of this entire Portland roster, if this all works, because I feel like we've done this as Pistons fans in the last 3 years, right? It's like you just collect young talent, you figure it out later. But then you get 4 years down the line, you're still winning 20 games or less a season. At a certain point, you start to be like, are any of these guys even good? Like, do you want Jaden Ivey to be your starting shooting guard? Like, we got to question some. Who are the pillars from this Portland roster? Simons, Shaden Sharp, I guess Ayton, Scoot Henderson. You can go further down the list if you want. Tamani Kamara, Jabari Walker. I don't think anyone is. And now Donovan Clingan. Like, who are they hoping is on their roster a couple seasons from now? Is it Scoot and Clingan? And we're kind of figuring it out from there. Is it Shaden Sharp? Is it Simons? Like what's best for them?
They're gonna have to make. I think what would be best for them is that Scoot hits, right? Klingon hits, and Sharp is something too. You trade Simons and Aiton because they're probably gonna get the best value.
Okay. And that trio like becomes a really poor man's version of like Ant Edwards and Gobert
Right.
with a
Or
point guard.
yeah, or like maybe Klingon's good, and they're like, we'll trade Klingon because he's younger. You can get some more for him. He has the defensive upside that Aiton doesn't have, and you move on from Klingon and you just ride with Aiton.
Here's my fear. I really like Donovan Clingan. I think it was great value, and I think it works. This ain't as easy as the Memphis Grizzlies, who are just like rolling out Zach Edey as their starting center. So, like, is Clingan gonna come off the bench for a year? Is that gonna hurt his development? I don't know. If they trade Ayton, fine. But I think Aiton's good. I think there's a chance Aiton's just better than Donovan Clingan. So
You're an Ayton guy.
I am, but also like Aiton has started in the NBA Finals and been a productive center his entire career. He was the first overall pick, dude. Like this is one of those things. Like we're just quick to move on centers in the league the same way we're quick to move off running backs in the NFL. Like, and I get it. There's miles on him, and there are real concerns with Aiton, but I don't know. It's just like you got a younger version that has no offensive game. That's a better defender. Does that elevate you when you already had a good young center, or is that just a replacement and you don't know what you're doing? It's not the best fit, is all I'm saying. I think it was really good value, and if we wanted to be really harsh about it, I would ask this. I told you 5 years from now, Scoot Henderson is one of these two players. Who do you think he's more likely to become? De'Aaron Fox or Emmanuel Mudiay?
Man, that's too. Give me someone else size Moutier.
Dennis Smith Jr. How many top 5 great, talented, poppy, jump through the roof guards that can't shoot 40% from the field do I need to give you?
De'Aaron Fox. I'm a
I'm
Scoot.
worried. I'm worried if this is all let's build around Scoot. I'm worried based on what I saw last year.
Give me Scoot.
Scoot Clingan 5 years from now feels very Pistonsy. Like we got these two we feel great about. And then 5 years from now we're like, yeah.
Who are those Pistons players you're referring to?
Well, I don't know. Cade's better than both. So
Okay, that's fine. We can move on.
like Ivy and Asar. It's gonna work. They're great. We love them.
Ah,
Yeah, yeah.